From Mencari Newsroom at redmencari.com.
Good morning, I'm Vico Santos with today's rundown for Thursday, May 15. Australian Security and Investment Commission have launched its first ever short sale case against Macquarie Securities, alleging the systematic compliance failure dating back to 2009.
Well, by not accurately reporting its short sale activity and related regulatory data, it does undermine our confidence that we know what's going on in the market. So market participants, regulators, we rely on accurate reporting of short sale activity because it gives us a real insight into market sentiment and what's happening in the market. So if we're getting a misleading picture, then that's not good for transparency and market efficiency. That's the harm we're trying to avoid occurring.
ASIC claims it raised reporting accuracy issue with Macquarie as early as 2015, but the financial institution failed to rectify the problem despite assurances. This marks the fourth action ASIC has taken against Macquarie in just over a year. When questioned about potentially withdrawing Macquarie financial license, ASIC chair Joe Longo emphasized in an interview at ABC News.
Yeah, no, we're a long way from that. The Macquarie are a major institution in the Australian economy. They're a global player. They're capable of dealing with these issues. They simply have not invested enough and taken the appropriate approach to deal with them. Until they do, we will be holding them accountable to get that result. We're all expecting Macquarie to be able to meet that standard. They haven't until now, but we think they can.
Macquarie share price fell by more than 1% following the announcement. President Donald Trump has rejected criticism over accepting the $600 million luxury aircraft from Qatar royal family, claiming that the plane will be donated to his presidential library. According to Dr. Mark Rolfe of University of New South Wales in an interview at ABC Australia,
I mean, he's being a bit too cute by saying it's a gift free of charge, as if there's no quid pro quo in this, as if he's not getting any immediate benefit. I think the concern is that this plane is a cost of business for the Qatari government, whose sovereign wealth fund, through its real estate arm, is arranging a business deal with Trump Organisation for a luxury villa and golf course in Qatar.
Security experts note that extensive modification would be required before any gifted aircraft could serve as Air Force One. The plane would need a specialized equipment, including missile defense system, radiation shielding for nuclear scenario, and medical suite.
It's a very specialized aircraft that should be built from the ground up. Now, the major problem for Boeing has been the fact that the two scheduled replacements are second-hand aircraft. They don't produce 747s anymore. It's harder to fit out a plane for Air Force One because if it's second-hand rather than built from the ground up, because it has to be virtually taken apart. Great panels have to be cut out of the structure. The cockpit has to be taken away. All sorts of things have to be done, and these will have to be done to the Qatari plane as well. So it's sort of back to square one in fitting out this Qatari plane for a new Air Force One. And they're saying that it would be ready by the end of 2027, which would be a miracle, given the
Trump Middle East visit has also yielded substantial business deal with including weapon sales to Saudi Arabia and semiconductor agreement with the UAE. Meanwhile, a new data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics shows wage increase at 3.4% in the year to March, broadly in the line with Reserve Bank expectation. According to Brendan Wern of KPMG chief economist in an interview,
Look, I think it shows still a good strength within the Australian labour market. We haven't seen an escape with regards to wages growth back up to what we've seen in the last couple of years. It still seems pretty well contained.
Public sector jobs significantly contributed to wage growth, with rare noting unprecedented government spending.
It is a little unusual. I think the timing's a little unusual. Normally you see a lot of those enterprise agreements, particularly for the public sector, occur during the middle of the year. What we are seeing, and it's not surprising to see that level of wage growth coming through public sector, particularly given that what you're seeing is incredibly high levels of public sector spending as a proportion of GDP. And what we know is that a large amount of that increased spending is going on wages, both the hiring of new staff, as well as the increase of wages for existing staff as well. The level of public sector spending we're seeing at the moment is, I think I've calculated just recently, is higher than the level of public sector spending that Australia spent during World War I.
With the inflation of 2.4%, real wages are growing at approximately 1% year on year. The data emerged ahead of upcoming Reserve Bank meeting, whether further interest rate movement will be considered. That's all for today's headlines. For deeper analysis, exclusive investigative reports, and breaking news alert, become a paid subscriber at readmencari.com. Our team of experienced journalists deliver comprehensive coverage you won't find anywhere else. I'm Vico Santos. Thank you for listening.
Subscribe to Mencari for news with authentic Gen X perspective, cutting through the noise with zero fluff. Available now across all podcast platforms. News without the noise, perspective without the panic.